And now I have the pleasure of introducing Richard. Richard Van Camp is grateful and proud to be. Richard, can you say your
I am Clecho Dene from Fort Smith, Northwest Territories.
thank you? He is the best-selling author of 24 books these past 24 years. His novel, The Lesser Blessed, is now a feature film with First Generation Films. You can reach Richard on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and at his website, which is www.richardcamp.com. And I have a copy. I love this cover. If you can see it, may we have enough to share. So with that, I will hand it over. Yeah, hey. With that, I'll hand it over to you, Richard. Thank you.
Wonderful. Masi Cho, Dante, Danate, Sagya Masi. My friends, thank you very much for being here today. My name is Richard Van Camp, and I was born and raised in Fort Smith in the Northwest Territories of Canada. So I am from Treaty 8 country, and I was born in 1971. I'm 49, and I'm turning silver right before my eyes. It was just my birthday on September 8th, and if I showed you the front sidewalk of our house, my wife Kiwi and our little boy Edzazi wrote happy birthday in big letters all the way across our yard. And I'm so sad to see it fading because of course it's always fun to have a birthday and you just give thanks for your family and your friends and your health and for the safety of Mother Earth. And I really wanted to just honor our firefighters and our first responders today because we woke up in Edmonton in Treaty 6 country and it was very smoky. And apparently it's supposed to get smokier because we're inheriting some of that smoke coming up from the forest fires in the United States and in Canmore, Alberta. And it's another reminder that we're all connected, that we're all in this together. And I hope that you are all doing well and taking care of yourselves. And what I want to do during our time together is I really want to thank Lethbridge and the Word on the Street Festival. I'm really happy and very proud to be an author and a storyteller. I want to share with you some of the teachings I received when I was growing up. So people say, well, Richard, you have 24 books out these past 24 years. How do you do it? How do you pump out a book a year? And the truth is, I get up at, sometimes it's 4:45 in the morning, sometimes it's 5 o'clock in the morning. So I have an hour and a half every single day before my little boy wakes up down the hall. And the second I hear, Daddy, that means I'm the cook, I do the laundry, I wash the dishes, I clean, we go to forest school, we have a wonderful day, and I get to play for the rest of the day. But it's really up to me, first thing in the morning, to get what I need to do done so that my love cup is full and I can be the best daddy and the best husband and the best friend and the best son and the best brother that I can be. So, for all of you who want to be writers, remember sometimes you have to get up earlier than everybody else on the planet to work your sweet magic. So, people say, but how did you become a writer? Like, never mind this getting up at 4:45. That sounds horrible. Just give us the secret. Well, I was told a long time ago by Carolyn Swayze that a page a day is a book a year. If you write one page a day, you will have a book a year because how many days are in a year? Is it still 365? I'm so old now, the years just blur. But again, I know there's some of you are saying, yeah, page a day is a book a year. No problem. I'll get up at 4:45, no problem. Mr. Van Camp, I'm going to get up at 4:30 just to beat you to the sweet magic that's greeting all of us every single day. Tell us more about how you became a storyteller and a writer. Well, here's where the magic of the universe comes into play. So, as you know, I was born in Fort Smith, Northwest Territories. So, those sandhill cranes that you hear kettling across the sky that are going over Lethbridge and Calgary and Edmonton right now, those sandhill cranes, we have those where I'm from. We have sandhill cranes, we have whooping cranes, we have pelicans, We have buffalo 40 miles this way. We have bison 40 miles that way. We've got black bears and brown bears and cinnamon bears. Man, we got it made. We're the third best place in the world to see the northern lights. We have the roaring rapids. We've got the Slave River. So I grew up in a time of visiting. I grew up in a time when people showed up and you feasted and you laughed and you shared stories. You shared stories about, well, love stories, spirit stories, stories of forgiveness, stories of making peace. And my mom, Rosa Washi, bless her, she's in Yellowknife right now, my mommy, she was different from a lot of the other moms because when we had company, my mom would always say to us boys, and I'm the oldest of four, she would always say, "Oh, you boys, we have company. Come listen. Come listen to how the world really works." And I was the brother that stayed. I was the brother that listened. And I was the brother that remembered. Now, my brother Roger stayed. He remembers certain stories. My brother Johnny stayed. My brother Jamie stayed. They remembered their own stories and they took what they needed to start living their own magnificent, lives. So I have two brothers who are lawyers and I have one brother who's a doctor. Isn't that incredible? So we have two lawyers, one doctor, and one writer. I'm the oldest of these boys. I changed their diapers. And you know what's crazy about all this is I'm the shortest. You tell me how that worked. I think I shrunk 2 inches, just like my mommy. I can't explain it. Maybe every time I change their diapers, they stole some calcium from me so that they could get strong from my strength. That's what a good big brother does. That's what a good Fort Smither does. Because in Fort Smith, we have a couple of sayings. We're humble enough to be awesome and awesome enough to be humble. And I know some of you are sitting there going, yeah, yeah, yeah. You still haven't told me anything magic that I can use. Okay, well, hold on. This is where Uncle Van Camp comes in. Uncle Richie's going to take care of you, okay? So, a long time ago, in probably 1976, there was an old bush cook, and his name was David King. I really wish he was here today. I really wish we could all be together in Fort Smith, maybe at Roaring Rapids Hall, because David King, who was Chipewyan, could cook for 20 or 50 or 200 people like nothing. He was born to cook. He was a chef for royalty. He loved to cook, and everything he touched was magic. I can still remember his bannock, when he fried pickerel, when he did caribou meat. And my dad hired him because my dad was the head of the Renewable Resources Technology program at Aurora College in Yellowknife or Fort Smith. So we would go out every summer when we were young, and for a month we would go to Sioux Lake with all the other Arctic College students. And my dad would either hire Maria Brown, who was Chipewyan, or David King, who was Chipewyan, depending on who was the least busy of the two. And if you had Maria Brown, she had her own incredible menu, which she could cook again for 20 or 50 or 100, didn't matter. Same with David King. Now, the thing about David King is when my dad hired him, David King, who was Chipewyan, loved my little brother Raj, just was charmed by my little brother Raj. But the thing is, David could never remember Roger's name. So he kept calling him Rodney. He'd say, "Where's my little Rodney? I want to see Rodney. I've got to cook for Rodney this morning." Well, when you're a big brother, it's a package deal. I got to go and partake in the feast that David King would cook for little Rodney every morning. So you know those sharks that you see and those little eels are suction cupped to the side? I was one of those little eels. I tell you, I ate like a king whenever little Rodney was around David King. And so the magic I want to share with you this morning, I really want to honor all of you because the teaching that David King gave little Rodney and me was every animal is born with medicine power. Every human is born with medicine power. And our job in this life is to figure out what our medicine power is and to develop it. And that means asking for help, going to the right teachers, and then sharing it with the world. So I'm going to say that one more time. David King really showed us when we were young that every animal has medicine power and every human being is here for a reason. We all have medicine that we deserve to share with each other. So the first teaching I received from David King of many was I was complaining one morning because in Fort Smith, we're only 2,500 people. We're at the end of Highway 5. We're the gateway to Wood Buffalo National Park. And my goodness, we are officially quadrilingual. And what that means is Chipewyan, Bush Cree, French, and English are spoken at any given time in our community. We are the Métis capital of the Northwest Territories. So, you know, we have Arctic College, we've got a drugstore, we've got a northern store, we've got Kazers, we've got 2 trailer parks. There was this one cinnamon bear that kept walking into our town, was very curious about our town. Now, a cinnamon bear is a cousin of the brown bear. They're a little smaller, but their coats are the color of cinnamon. Now, I was getting pretty bitter and upset. I was only about 7 years old and I started getting man mad. I don't know if you've ever seen somebody get man mad. It's usually when they go to IKEA and try and build the couch, or they put together the bookcase. They get man mad. They get frustrated and they start jimmy rigging it and trying to make it fit when it's not supposed to fit. Anyways, the first time I ever got man mad was because this little cinnamon bear kept coming into our community and everybody and their monkey got to see it except me. And I was pretty upset. And one day, David was over and he was cooking for little Rodney, my little brother. And I said to my brother, you know, Raj, I'm really sad that Dougie Webb, Dougie Gillis, Ice Goose, Mav, and Scooter, and all those guys, they all got to see this cinnamon bear except me. You know, I'm a paper boy. I'm an altar boy. I volunteer. I help out. I do my chores. I mean, I'm delivering the Edmonton Journal and the Slave River Journal every Thursday. I'm doing my best. Why hasn't the universe let me see the cinnamon bear? And David was cooking away and he kind of realized that I was getting all worked up. I was just about ready to launch into my pure man mad mode. And he didn't want that to happen. And he said, wait, what are you saying, nephew? What are you talking about? And I said, oh, sorry, uncle. It's just that I want to see that cinnamon bear that's walking by the Caribou Trailer Court. And he goes, oh, yeah, I've seen it a whole bunch of times. You haven't seen it yet? I said, no. And my brother goes, yeah, I saw it too. We were biking to PWK and JBT. We seen it. It's just walking around. Big eyes, beautiful coat. Oh, it's beautiful, that cinnamon bear. Well, I started getting even madder because if little Rodney had already seen it and David had already seen it, well, I guess, you know, there's a saying, I was madder than a hornet in the middle of a windstorm. I started getting worked up, I tell you. My earlobe started to turn purple. Hey, that's the first phase of showing my man mad. When these start to turn purple and the left eye starts twitching, hey, you better start running for cover. Anyways, David said to me, and this is where the alchemy of what I do is, it's because of my elders and it's because of my teachers and it's because of where I was raised. David King looked at me and he said, you know, nephew, you have to be very careful around bears. I said, why? He says, a bear always knows what you're thinking. A bear always knows what you're thinking. People say, when did you become a storyteller? That was the exact moment, because the key to being a great writer and the key to being a great storyteller is you have to be a great listener first. Because I felt that ancient Tlicho Dene blood of my grandparents wake up inside of me in Fort Smith, Northwest Territories when I was about 6 or 7, all thanks to David King. Because suddenly I realized that Canada is a beautiful country. And I love going to JBT Elementary. I love going to PWK High. And I love Judy Blume and Essie Hinton and Robert Munch and Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. I love pop culture. I love everybody and everything. what I realized was that my inheritance as an Indigenous person was also waiting for me, and that it was up to me to go out there and learn even more about my ancestors and my relations. So I ended up as a young man volunteering, and I ended up driving my elders around in Fort Smith. I drove the handy bus. And what that means is I got to pick up all my elders like Irene Sanderson, Sarah Evans, Maria Brown, John Evans, Amelia Gatrix, Helena Mandeville, and I got to spend time with them, whether it was driving them to bingo or to the Kazers or to the Northern store or to take them to see the pelicans flying back to the Slave River. But the more I visited with them, I started to learn more about what David told me. So I'm going to share with you some of the teachings I've been given about the power of each animal. So after I heard that a bear always knows what you're thinking, I had another elder tell me, did you know if you put your moccasins on the wrong feet and turn your jacket inside out and backwards, a bear will follow you home? Isn't that something? Now, I wonder how many of you are going to try that in Lethbridge. You put your moccasins on the wrong feet, turn your jacket inside out and backwards, you go for a walk. A bear's going to follow you home. I remember hearing that and being even more impressed that there was this magic in the world that nobody was showing me in any textbook, that you had to sit around a supper table and you had to listen and hold on and just ache and just welcome any new knowledge that would come your way. So a little while down the line, I met a friend of mine named Morningstar Mercredi, who's Chippewayan. So Morningstar told me that frogs are the keepers of rain. Frogs are the keepers of rain. And what that means is that every time it rains, her people believe it's the frogs who have that medicine power. It's the frogs who call the rain for the planet. And she also explained to me that in your community, if you have frogs, you have clean water. If the frog people ever leave your community or your territory, your water is no longer safe to drink. Always give thanks to the frogs. If you hear frog song at night, always give thanks, because where there's frogs, there's clean water. Frogs are the keepers of rain. So at the same time I met Morningstar Mercredi, I met a friend of mine named Lorne Machia. Lorne Machia is Dene Ta from Assumption. And one day we were talking about eagles. And he told me something I want to share with you. He said, every eagle has 3 shadows. Every eagle has 3 shadows. His grandfather was the last man alive who knew how to sneak up to an eagle and borrow their shadows for a while to use them for the purpose of ceremony. Isn't that incredible? Every eagle has 3 shadows. You know what my grandpa Pierre Washi told us? He said, a wolverine can steal your shadow. That's how powerful they are. A wolverine can steal your shadow. That's how powerful they are. So we're going to move on to the West Coast because I did my undergrad, my master's in Victoria and Vancouver, and I know that they're carpeted in smoke today, and we have to send our good thoughts to our relations and to our friends and our families and to our neighbors in the States and in the West Coast and all the communities affected by forest fire smoke. We have to give thanks. So my dear friend Katrina Chappell, she's a nurse, she's an acupuncturist. A long time ago, she saved up a little bit of money and she bought herself a silver bracelet. And then she wanted to commission a piece of art from a great carver. So in Bella Bella, British Columbia, it's actually called Weglisla, and it's home to the Heisjauch. There is a master carver named Bradley Hunt. And so Katrina got to meet Bradley, and she said, Mr. Hunt, I would like to commission something on this beautiful silver bracelet, just to honor the work that I'm doing in helping people who are really struggling, they're really worried, or they're really anxious. And every time I look at this beautiful silver bracelet, I want to get some strength from you and what you do. the thing is, I don't know what animal I want you to carve on my bracelet. So Mr. Bradley Hunt said, well, let's go for a walk and we'll talk. Tell me more about what you do and who you are. So they went for a long walk along the beach, and I was there when this all happened. And then when he came back, he said, okay, Katrina, he says, I've seen what I'm going to carve for you, but I'm not going to tell you. Give me about 3 weeks. I'm really busy and I don't want to rush how I'm going to do this. In 3 weeks, you come back and we'll have a little feast and I'll give you your bracelet with a little animal that spoke to me about you. So here she was so excited. So she went back to her home in Victoria, and then a couple of weeks later, Mr. Bradley Hunt called and he said, well, Richard, go get your friend. Boy, he says, I was up all night carving. I got the most beautiful bracelet. Oh, wait till she's going to cry. She's going to cry. Get ready. I said, okay, I'll bring the Kleenex. So we hopped in the car, we went up island. We went to Mr. Bradley Hunt's house and we saw his beautiful family, his garden, his yard, his home. Oh, man. Mr. Bradley Hunt, you are a treasure. Absolutely. And so they cooked for us. And I'm telling you, once again, Richie V showed up for a free meal. You know, never forget that shark and then those little eels on the side. That's every time you see that, you think about me. Hey, they're going to call me the crow. I never refuse a free meal. Eh? Anyways, so after we were done, Katrina said, okay, I can't wait another second. You fed me. You fed my homely friend, Richard Van Camp. So let's see what you got. So Mr. Bradley Hunt, I remember he had it wrapped in silk and he said, here you go, Katrina. Thank you for everything you're doing. As a nurse, as a retired nurse, you worked at Victoria General for years and years, and you helped so many people in your new role as an acupuncturist. And this is the animal that spoke to me for you. And she opened it up, and here it was dancing butterflies. He'd carved dancing butterflies in her bracelet. And she was shocked. And she said, well, these are so beautiful. These are so delicate. How did you do it? He said, oh, doesn't matter. He says, that's what I saw when you and I went for a walk. And Katrina said, you know, I'm really surprised that you gave me the butterflies, because I thought maybe I'd get an eagle or a wolf or a blackfish or something. And he said, Katrina, where we're from, butterflies are guardians for lost souls. Butterflies are guardians for lost souls. He says, you bring hope to people who really don't feel a lot of hope right now. That's your gift. And you know, Katrina was so proud to have that beautiful bracelet that was decorated with dancing butterflies from Mr. Bradley Hunt. Isn't that something? Now, here's a listening exercise. Okay, I want everyone to be honest. Clear your minds. Don't worry about your taxes. Don't worry about your RSPs. You're going to max them out. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about anything. Everything's going to be just fine. Justin Trudeau is going to take care of all of us. Justin, don't let us down. Okay, here we go. I'm going to give you a teaching about dragonflies. And I want you to clear your mind. I'm going to tell you how I came upon this medicine story about them. And then I want you to see if you have what it takes to be a good listener. Okay, here we go. So a long time ago, I was off to see a friend of mine on Salt Spring Island. And if you get off that little ferry at Fulford Harbor, there is a beautiful, it is a studio for pottery. They do carvings. And one of these days, I'm going to get the name of this studio. But if you just go to the left on Salt Spring Island, Fulford Harbor, you'll see this beautiful pottery studio, and you can walk around and there's no pressure, not like the Brick or Future Shop or Best Buy. As soon as you walk in there, there's salespeople all over you. This is very gentle. So my friend forgot to pick me up. Let's be honest. Okay. Enough time has passed. We've debated, we've had a lot of counseling sessions about, no, I'm just kidding. So I go into this pottery session area, and everything that this potter has done, whether it's a beautiful ladle or there's a beautiful water jug, everything that she created, there are sleeping dragonflies with their wings folded. And I had never seen anything so beautiful before, despite, this is before Mr. Bradley Hunt's carving of the dancing butterflies for my friend Katrina. And I went to everything in that potter's studio, and I just couldn't believe that she was honoring the dragonflies because I'd never seen that before. So sooner or later she came along and she said, "Hey, hi there, how are you?" I said, "Oh, great, I'm Richard Van Camp." And she says, "Oh, nice to meet you." I said, "I'm from the Northwest Territories, and I really want to thank you for honoring the dragonfly people because you just don't see that." And she goes, "Oh, well, I know their secret." I said, "Oh, you know their secret? What's their secret?" And she said, "Oh, I just don't think that I should share it with you." And I said, "Oh, come on, don't be cheap." I said, "Let's trade. I'll give you 3 secrets for your one." And she goes, "Yeah, right. You got secrets?" I said, "Oh, well, I guess I got secrets. I'm from Fort Smith NWT, right? There's got a town. This is a town built on secrets, right? It's the Kimooch. So the Kimooch is Cree for on the sneak. Everybody's on the Kimooch in Fort Smith, right? Northwest Territories. So she said, all right. There's nobody here. Business is slow. Give me 3 secrets that I don't even know anything about. I said, "I know how to call the Northern Lights." And she was like, "Yeah, right." I said, "I do." She says, "Okay, let's hear it." I said, "Okay." I said, "So now it's September, right? This is when the baby Northern Lights start to learn how to swim. And the grandma and grandpa Northern Lights wait very patiently across the sky, urging them on. And so it's our job as the 2-legged people to go out there and help the little baby Northern Lights when they're learning how to swim. So what we do is when you go out at night, whether you're in Lethbridge or Calgary or Edmonton or wherever you are, you might be dialing in from Aotearoa, New Zealand, or maybe the Northwest Territories or Nunavut, wherever you're dialing in from, if you go out at night and you see Venus, in Bush Cree, they say Oginans. Oginans. That means leader star. Leader star. And if you look in the south tonight, you're going to see Venus, which is Oginans. You're also going to see Saturn. Saturn. The moon, the next full moon will be on Halloween. In Chipewyan, in Dene, how they say moon is Kalaza. Kalaza. Isn't that beautiful? I learned that from my elders, Kalaza. Yeah, it was Flora Granjam of Fort Mackay who taught me about Oginans, the name for Venus, and it was Archie Smith, who's Chipewyan, who taught me about Kalaza in Chipewyan. That's moon. So next full moon, we'll all be trick-or-treating under a full moon together in a good and safe way under the full moon on Halloween. I'm so excited. Anyways, what was I talking about before I got lost? Oh, yes, the medicine of dragonflies. So I said, that's how you call, or said, so Venus is Oginans, moon is Chipewyan, and I know how to call the Northern Lights. And she said, well, how do you say Northern Lights in your language? And I said, I'll tell you after. I said, I got to make this quick before I forget. I said, when you see the Northern Lights, actually it's Naka, Naka. In Tlicho Dene, that's how you say Northern Lights, Naka. So when you see Naka or the Northern Lights, what you do is you whistle. Everybody whistle. So when you whistle, that gives strength to the little baby Northern Lights, and they start to get brave, right? And they start to make their way across the sky to their grandmas and their grandpas, their little mushrooms and their cookums, eh? So you can whistle. Now, if you have chapped lips, what you can do is use your fingernails and go like this. You make that sound, it's like electricity. It generates electricity, and that gives them strength too. And then when you do that, oh, they're just happy. They'll just start flapping their little tails and start making their way across the sky, right? Now, if you have chapped lips and you chew your nails, don't despair. What you do is you take a zipper on your jacket and you go, if you do that, oh, that just electrifies them, eh? And then they get really brave and strong and they make their way to their grandma and their grandpa. Now, sometimes when you're calling the Northern Lights, they'll come down because they're very curious. Don't forget, they're like children, right? They're very curious. You never want the Northern Lights to get too close to you because they could grab you by the hair and pull you up into the sky. So Here's the warning signs if the northern lights are ever get too close to you. They say the northern lights have a really strong smell. They smell like dead fish. That's what this little boy told us in South Indian Lake. I thought it was ozone. He said, oh no, it's not ozone. It smells like dead fish. If you ever smell dead fish getting close to you, that means the northern lights are getting too close. And also if you hear sizzling, like someone's frying bacon for you in the next room, that means they're getting even closer. And if the hair on the back of your neck stands straight up, holy cow, watch out. That means you got to send the northern lights back up into the sky. So how you send the northern lights away, you see this thumbnail here? Like this. I know some of you are missing your front teeth. I understand that. I empathize with you because where we're from, they say we're home of the rough and ruthless and the tough and toothless, right? So you always got to have backup plans. So if you're missing your front teeth and you chew your thumbnails and you're just gumming for nothing, well, here's another little backup plan. All you got to do is if you're ever being chased by, the northern lights, grab an old dog, a dog chain. They don't like dog chains. Go. And then that will send the northern lights back up into the sky. Okay. So now you know how to call them, you know what they smell like, you know what they sound like, you know how to send them away. That's why northerners, they always keep their little thumbnails long, in case you gotta send the northern lights back up into the sky. So I shared all of that with her. I even threw in a couple of extras. A bear always knows what you're thinking. Frogs are the keepers of rain. Right? Put your moccasins on the wrong feet, turn your jacket inside out and backwards, a bear will follow you home. Man, I'm telling you, I gave her everything I had with secrets. I sang like the canary I am. I tell you, I'm the songbird of my generation when it comes to gossip. So I gave it all I had. Finally, she said, all right. You've wowed me. You've astounded me. I'll tell you the secret about dragonflies, but it doesn't matter because you're never going to remember it. Nobody ever remembers the secret. I said, you don't know who you're dealing with here. You're dealing with Richie Van Camp, Richie Van Halen, Richie Van Campfire. I tell you, I wake up in a handstand every single day waiting for beautiful teachings about the animals because I was taught that every animal has medicine power. So let's see it. Let's hear it. I'm ready. So everybody clear your minds. I'm going to tell this to you once and let's see who can remember, okay? She said, this is the medicine of dragonflies. This is the magic of dragonflies. Dragonflies are the revivers of snakes, and they can sew the lips shut of any child who's just told their first lie. If you know what to do with their wings, you can get anyone in the world to fall in love with you. You need dragonfly wings for love medicine. Pretty incredible, eh? So she told that to me 17 years. I never forgot it. So does anybody here remember what I just said? Who here is a good listener? Because if you're a good listener and you remember, that's how you become a great storyteller. That's how you become a great writer. It always starts with listening. Anyone? Okay, I'll leave it at that. I think what we want to do is we want to open up some questions and answers. I'd love to answer any questions that any of you may have. I'd love to.
So far, we have no questions.
They're stunned. They're stunned into submission. I love it. This is great.
We're trying to remember.
Medicine of dragonflies. Yes. Does anybody who's an adult, any parents, any of the organizers have a question?
I have a question, Richard.
Sure.
I just wondered, so you do your 24 books in 24 years. And how did you write your last one? Like, how do you come up with a theme or how do you figure out what it's going to be?
Well, the good news is I'm always working on my own books. I'm always working on something because I do get up so early. I might as well be working on something. Mm-hmm. So I'm lucky because I work with 12 different publishers. And when I'm done a project, I can go to all 12 and say, this is what I have, who's interested? Now, they may not be interested in a graphic novel or a comic book or fill in the blank. And that's not anything wrong with what I'm doing. It's just not what they do. Or sometimes publishers only want the novel, or sometimes publishers only want the short story collection. It depends on what's selling best.
Mhm.
So if none of my 12 want what I have that's ready, and I know it's ready, then what I'll do is I'll go out and I will find a 13th publisher and I'll work with them. So the days of one author only working with one publisher forever, from their cookbook to their memoir to their poetry to their children's books to their novel, their novella, their nonfiction, I think those days are gone. And I think it has to be that way. I know many of the people who may be listening may be writers or authors or people who want to break into the industry. The key is, I think you have to really learn that it's not personal when you're sitting on a gold mine of a manuscript that makes your heart sing. They're just not the right publisher right now. And I've been so lucky to work. And I do want to say that for anybody who wants to be a writer, I think I'm a good writer. I'm a hardworking writer. It's actually our editors who make us great writers. And that is a truth. It is a dream effort. So I'll give you an example. So may we have enough to share? I'll read this to you. Actually, I want to open with I want to honor everyone with a little song. This is a little book that was given out to every newborn baby in British Columbia in 2008. It's called Welcome Song for Baby. And Welcome Song for Baby, we gave away. My publisher is Orca Book Publishers. And everybody in those days who worked at Orca was allowed to pick one baby picture from a gallery. I was allowed to pick one picture for the book. And do you know who I was able to honor? I was able to honor my brother Raj, also known as Rodney to David King. And my brother Roger is a lawyer in Yellowknife with the Human Rights Commission. And he loves to stick up for people who are being bullied and who aren't being treated properly. And that's his little boy, Shaden. So Shaden was 1 month old when this picture was taken, and it was 40 below zero in Yellowknife when this picture was taken by my Auntie Tessa. And I don't know if you ever saw that movie, Coal Miner's Daughter, where her first record, they had to iron the tablecloth for the backdrop. That's what we did for the backdrop here because it was in my mom's basement at 40 below. And we took this beautiful picture of Roger and Shaden. Now, Shaden is probably taller than me now. He's a young man. So I wanted to just sing this little song to everybody and remind you that it really is true what David King told me a long time ago, that every animal is born with medicine power. And every human is born with medicine power. We all have our role to play here. We all need each other healthy and strong. So, like he said, find out what your gifts are. Find out what gets your heart purring. Work on that. Never be afraid to ask for help. Every time I work with a great editor or a great publisher or a great artist, I'm always asking for help, because if we can make this even sweeter or even scarier when I write a good ghost story, it's only helping me learn my craft. So a friend of mine, Geraldine Minosa, also gave me a good teaching. She said, and I have permission to share this, when she was expecting her first baby, she had a medicine man come up to her and said, "You're going to have a son." And that's a good thing, because every little boy is his mother's greatest teacher. Every little girl is her father's greatest teacher. I'm a father now. My little boy is 6. His name is Edzazi. Edzazi. And his name in our language means marrow, because marrow is the heart of the bone. Our children are really the hearts of our family. And the best part of being a father and a parent is children pull you onto the dance floor of life. For the rest of the day, once I'm done, I have one more presentation to do. For the rest of the day, I get to cook for my boy. We get to Beyblade. We get to go outside. We get to build a fort. We're going to go to King Ed tonight. It's popsicle night. All the kids come out. Some of the parents bring popsicles. They're going to stay out way too late. I'm going to fake a headache and come home at 8 a little bit early. That's how I roll now. I feign injuries to get out of stuff. But that's just me at 49, right? You don't have to do that. You're gonna grow old and dignified and strong. So I'm gonna sing this song to you because I love you all. I care so deeply for you. I want the best for you, and I really wanted to honor you. So this is called Welcome Song for a Baby. This is the Cree edition. Remember where I'm from, we're officially quadrilingual. So where I'm from in the Northwest Territories, Treaty 8 country, we have Bush Cree, we have Chipewyan or Dene Sutlane, and we also have South Slavey. So our baby books have been translated into all of our official Indigenous languages, also in English. So I'm going to sing this to you just to honor you all. I'm really grateful to have been here for the Lethbridge Book and Magazine Festival, Word on the Street. This is a song from my heart to yours. I wish you all the very best. Bless you all. Bless your families. Bless your friends. Bless your health, your homes, your yards, your fellow students, your teachers, the first responders, the firefighters, everybody. We're all in this together. We're all children in the same glorious life. I'm so proud to be here today. This is Welcome Song for Baby, a lullaby for newborns. And this is actually for the sacred dancing child in each and every one of you. This is for the sacred dancing child in each and every one of you. May we always honor that sacred dancing child. Hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey. Dear one, cherished one, loved one, you have made the world beautiful again. The sun rises for you, the earth welcomes you, we raise our hands to you. You have made the world beautiful again. We thought we knew what love was until the day we held you. We thought we knew what life was until the day we kissed you. Hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey. You are sacred. You are precious. You are our future. You are our sacred responsibility. We will grow together. We will laugh together. We will feast together. We will love together. So curl up now. Curl up and sleep. All you have to do is grow. You've already made our lives complete. You are a child of the universe, a caretaker for future generations. Walk gently, walk true. Share your gifts with the world. Share your dreams with the world. Share your light with the world. Share your love with the world. Your life is a song we shall sing together. Your life is a story we shall tell together. We live, we laugh, we love now in your honor. And for someone so small, you're about to change our world. For someone so small, you're about to change our lives. For someone so small, you are about to change our universe forever. Hey ya hey, hey ya hey, hey ya hey, ho. Masi cho, everybody. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Happy Friday. Bless you all and take care of yourselves. Remember, we need you healthy. We need you strong. I look forward to meeting you in person. And you better have your jacket on backwards and your moccasins on the wrong feet because I'll come home and I'll show up for a free meal. Hoka! Okay, take care.
Thanks,
Thank you to everybody. Masi cho.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Richard.